911, what's the address of the emergency? My husband's not breathing. He's cold. I just came in the bed, in our bed, and I turned over, and he's just cold. He's just cold.
A Utah mother of 3 serves her husband a celebratory cocktail before bed. He dies hours later from a lethal dose of poison. She then writes a children's book about coping with grief and very nearly escapes the justice system entirely. In the year following her husband's death, Kouri Richins began promoting a picture book titled Are You With Me? She embarked on a coordinated media tour, appearing on morning television to discuss the challenges of helping her children navigate their loss. These public appearances offered a specific version of the events of March 4, 2022. That morning, Kouri called authorities to report that her 39-year-old husband, Eric, was unresponsive at the foot of their bed in Commerce, Utah.
911, what's the address of the emergency? My husband's not breathing. He's cold. I just came in the bed, in our bed, and I turned over, and he's just cold. He's just cold.
So what happened today?
He was just fine. We were fine. I don't know. It didn't make sense.
An autopsy later determined that Eric died of an overdose. Toxicologists found illicit fentanyl in his blood at levels 5 times higher than a lethal dose. The medical examiner concluded the substance had been ingested orally. The release of a book meant to comfort grieving children created a surreal tension as local investigators continued to examine the specific chemical evidence found in their father's body. When the case reached trial, the prosecution faced a massive evidentiary gap. They were charging a mother of 3 with murder, but they did not have a murder weapon to present to the jury. Out of 42 witnesses called to the stand, nobody testified to seeing Kouri spike her husband's drink. There was no forensic evidence to prove that the specific Moscow Mule she prepared for him that night was the source of the fentanyl. To secure a conviction without direct evidence of the act itself, the state had to build their case from the outside in. This meant documenting the logistical framework of the crime, a map of communications, tracking physical movements, and financial transactions that took place in the weeks surrounding the death. The burden on the state was to assemble these fragments into a picture so complete that the absence of a witness to the poisoning would no longer matter to the jury. The case from a motive began with a look at the hidden debt lurking beneath the surface of a high-end suburban lifestyle. A forensic accountant testified that Kouri's real estate business was failing. On the day after Eric died, her net worth was negative $1.6 million. Against that debt stood the prospect of a $2 million life insurance payout. Court records show Kouri changed Eric's business life insurance beneficiary to herself. Once reversed, Eric consulted a divorce attorney, moving his assets into a living trust. Yet filings reveal Kouri had already purchased 4 additional life insurance policies on Eric, totaling nearly $2 million. With Eric actively preparing to leave her and locking her out of his estate, Kouri faced a situation where her husband was worth significantly more to her dead than alive. Beyond the financial incentives, investigators turned to the source of the fentanyl that killed Eric. They traced the pills to an illicit drug deal arranged through Kouri's housekeeper. This statement from the prosecution's star witness claims Kouri asked for stronger pills, specifically requesting some of the Michael Jackson stuff. This led to a pill purchase from a dealer at a gas station in Draper. Investigators triangulated cell phone pings that matched the movements of the dealer and the housekeeper to that specific gas station on the dates the handoffs were alleged to have occurred. Kouri deleted hundreds of text messages from her phone, but billing records proved the communications happened exactly when the drugs were being bought. Following Eric's death, Kouri sent a text to her housekeeper that would later haunt her trial. She asked if the housekeeper still had her hookup. This digital trail provided the state with the logistical evidence they lacked in forensic samples. It placed the illicit substance in Kouri's possession exactly when the poisoning took place. Even with a motive and a supplier, the most critical evidence for the state was a single incident that occurred 2 weeks prior to the murder. On Valentine's Day, Kouri prepared a sandwich for Eric and left it in his truck with a love note. This court document describes Eric's physical reaction to the meal. He broke out in hives, struggled to breathe, and had to use an EpiPen. He told a friend that day that he believed his wife was trying to poison him. From a legal standpoint, 2 poisonings in the same household involving the same rare substance eliminate the possibility of a random accident. The sandwich attempt established a clear pattern of intent, characterizing the final Moscow Mule as a second, successful effort to end Eric's life. The timeline returned to the night of the murder. Kouri told police she served Eric the drink in bed, then went to a child's room to sleep, leaving her phone behind. The device data logged in this report contradicted her story. While she claimed to be sleeping in another room without her phone, the device was locked, unlocked, and moved multiple times during the hours Eric was dying. Prosecutors highlighted the 911 call as a pivotal moment, arguing the audio captured a woman performing the role of a widow, rather than experiencing the shock of one. Her behavior in the days following the death provided further context for the state's case. 2 days after Eric died, Kouri hired a locksmith to drill into his safe, and when Eric's sister confronted her, Kouri physically attacked her. These actions replaced the image of the grieving author with a raw pursuit of the cash and assets she had struggled to secure while Eric was alive. Inside the jury room, the decision came down to the sheer weight of the facts. While the defendant appeared to be a frail, grieving mother, the volume of circumstantial evidence was insurmountable. The jury required less than 3 hours to reach their conclusion. They found Kouri Richins guilty on all counts. The judge sentenced her to life in prison without the possibility of parole, stating that she was simply too dangerous to ever be free. The children's grief book remains a chilling artifact of the case, a failed camouflage used to hide a calculated murder in plain sight. The Kouri Richins conviction demonstrates that in modern investigations, the trail of digital movements and financial greed can speak louder than any witness.